Thanks so much for joining me for the Chanel Get Ready With Me. As the title says, this is not a one eye, one cheek, one lip, but I did pick up a new foundation, a new powder, and a new lip. We're going to revisit one of my favorite palettes as well and try out another blush technique. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's do primer on one side and that way we can see the difference. I'm going to go with my favorite Chanel primer, Le Base Illuminatrice. It's got plumping and moisturizing properties. It also helps to blur imperfections before foundation. Let's let this settle in for a minute. Now I just opened this. So I picked N50 and I questioned if I picked the wrong one because usually if I am going to go for a numbered shade that's not BD41, I'll go towards 40. But then I'm just looking, I think I saw that it said medium plus and I'm medium plus in the Waterfresh tint. And I believe this is supposed to be more sheer. Thinking back, I think that's why I picked 50. If you've been here, you know this is my last foundation I need to pick up to try. I have all of the Chanel foundations. I'll do a nice in-depth video. Oh wow, interesting. I wonder if I need to shake it up because it's kind of separating. I'll be doing an in-depth video on everything as soon as I get a handle on this one, as well as comparing a few that I'm just wanting more information on so I can give you some really solid information. It's on the cooler side. It's N. This has no primer, by the way. So that's how it looks. It feels hydrating. It's gonna be too dark in the center. I already can see that. So let's go really lightly here. This is what I thought I would like about this is that it's really natural looking on the skin. It sinks in really beautifully. It just adds a little bit of a skin tint, a little bit of a blur to the surface of the skin. Build it up. I just think it's going to look too dark right here. Now I wish I got the lighter shade. Really lovely texture though, just on initial impression here. Okay, let's go in with this side. I can't say this reminds me of any of the other ones either. It reminds me of other products I've tried from other lines. It's almost like a powdery-ish finish to it in a good way. I like the dry down on this, really nice. Again, we're going really light because I know this is going to be too deep for me. It's also a little cool. I almost prefer this without the primer, just the way it sits on the skin, because I feel like this is really going for a very, very skin-like appearance and it's looking less skin-like because of the glow over here versus over here where it's absorbing the light a little bit more. But yeah, you can see it's too much, look at my neck, it's too much color for me. And here's what it looks like dried down. It has a really nice feel to it though, really like that. Let's go in with concealer, Chanel Under Eye Concealer. I've gone through quite a bit of it at this point. Brought the concealer down just a little bit further because I knew this is going to be too deep here. Going with the color corrector Pesche. One. Okay, let's try this powder that I'm not quite sure if I tried the new version. I think I didn't because I looked back at the video to see when I picked this one up. This is the Healthy Glow Sheer Powder in N30, the one that went a little hard pan on me here. So I believe this is the newer version that I have now. So I got the refill, which I used actually a case that I already had, but in the Healthy Glow Luminous color, I had that product, which is too luminous. It was too luminous for me. So I just popped it in there. So it worked, even though it wasn't a refillable case. I just used the casing that was existing on the other powder and just put it back in there. So it seemed to work fine. So the only thing is that you've got to look on the back of the refill case. It's in B20 because N30 was, look how deep it is. So I wanted something that was going to act a little bit like the blur powder, the Perfect Blur Powder by Chantecaille. You know, that is the thing I measure pretty much everything against. And the Perfect Blur Powder by Chantecaille versus B20 Chanel. So it still has more color to it. So let's see how this looks. Got a buff and blur brush here. Okay, so far it does add a little bit of peachiness back, which actually I need because this is needing a little life, this foundation. It's a little too cool for me. It's so interesting, they're powder products. Like this is 30, this loose powder, but it's also, well, you can see it is lighter than B20. So their colors are kind of all, not kind of, their colors are all over the place depending on the actual product. So even the foundation shades, if you tried them, you kind of have to know the exact product you want and then the exact shade because they're not going to be universal. Okay, so far, this is nice. Very nice powder. Okay, it seems a lot different than the one I tried. It has more of like a powdery feel to it than the one that I have. So we'll see. It has more of a traditional powdery texture. Yeah, so let me know what you know about this. It says new on their site, which is why I picked it up. And when I picked this one up, I'm pretty sure it didn't say new. I'm trying to think where I picked that up. If I picked that up at Chanel or did I pick it up somewhere else? I don't know if it's the shade that's helping out or the actual powder itself. There's only one place I could find some information about this. And it is refillable, which I do like. Okay, so I'm gonna do brows really fast, but so far I do like that powder. And then I'm gonna see if I can find that article I was talking about. Okay, I went a little heavy-handed on the brows today, but we'll go with a bold brow. Let's just bronze up a little bit. I'm going to take this Hermes bronzer in Atlas. It's got more of a golden tone. It's going to help me warm this up just a little bit. If you're looking for a warm bronzer, this is a really pretty one. Okay, that definitely helps. I was trying to find a palette I wanted to play with that I haven't tried in a while. And I looked on the Chanel site, and as of today, it looked sold out, but I was able to find it on other retailers. I don't know if anything's happening with this palette or not, but I like it, so I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna go in with this. Let's see, how should we do this? Go in with this first, and I'm using an 01 Max REPHR. I also primed with the Chantecaille Eye Base in medium. Oh, did I say this is blurry green? Okay, I have a 13 mini by REPHR. Let's take this green shade and do a little bit right here on the exterior. I did order the green Hermes palette, so if you like green, then make sure to come back. We'll try that one out. I got a BK Beauty 201. I'm gonna take this 15 Max and just go back into that first shade I went with and use that to blend these two together. That's a lot. Okay. Oh, heavy-handed there. Let's go in with this shade right here and put that right in between those two colors to blend them. It's taking this shade right here, use that as an eyeliner with this Chantecaille eyeliner brush. Okay, I'm gonna try this mascara. I've been testing out the Hermes mascara. I also picked this up in green. Okay, let's just clean up the corners really quickly with Honey, Clé de Peau. This is a Ray Morris 20. Going ahead with Trench to brighten right under that lash line. Okay, and then let's do a little the Camoflauge Stylo just in that darkest area. Chantecaille, and this is in 4C. Let's try something with a blush here. We're going to take Jersey. It's a Ray Morris Mini Kabuki. We're going to try application the way Patrick Ta has his blushes set up. And he puts down the powder first followed by cream because I really like that idea because it takes any possible powdery appearance down and looks more like skin. So I've got here a cream blush by Chanel. Brush here, I'm just going to apply it on top of that Jersey. So this is a little bit more of an intense shade, you can see, but it builds that dimension in a really natural way. I think it's such a brilliant idea. So I've started to do this with other combinations where I put a powder first and then a cream. So pretty. And then let's do the same thing. Let's take a bit of that's right here. Let's take the Sculpting and we're gonna use that as a highlighter. We're gonna use the same brush. This is by Rowan, Blush and Blend brush. Really gentle glow. Let's do this subtle glow. This is the Lotus Perfect Blur Glow Powder, and this one's by Chantecaille. So we'll just do a little hint of a glow. And then let's take the Contour by Victoria Beckham. Okay, now let's go in with the lip because I actually haven't opened this yet. I ordered it. So I picked this up because it looked like a really pretty color that I was surprised I didn't try yet. It's 434 Mademoiselle in the Rouge Cocoa formula. This is not a new color, but I thought it looks so beautiful and something that I would really like. It has a bit of a cooler tone. It kind of looked like my lip color. I hope it's not too plummy. This is the only thing. I hope it's not too plummy. Okay, it's definitely cooler. It's like a cool version of my lips. Okay, so maybe, but maybe I don't like it for this because look at the cheek and the lip. I don't know. What do we think? What do we think of this lip? If I had gone cooler with the blush, maybe, but I feel like now it's really making the blush look really warm, which is not what I'm going for. I kind of want everything to just meld together. Lovely formula though. I really like this. Let's see. And I always do that with the Chanel lipsticks. I always smash them. Okay, you really have to wind those down. Okay, let me see if I can find something that I would like better. I mean, I really like this. I like the hydrating aspect of it, but let me see if I can find a lip that I would like better with this. Hold on. Okay, I just took that lip off, but actually when I looked in the mirror, it didn't look that off, but I think it's really showing a difference on camera. So I picked this. Let's look at 211 in the Rouge Allure. Okay, I think that's gonna be better. Okay, so the final look, I ended up with the Rouge Allure lip in 211. Has a little bit more of a warmth to it, so I thought it went better. But I really did like this Mademoiselle, now that it's smashed. It's not as plummy as it looks here. It just looks like my lip color, just a little bit cooler. I'm on the hunt for some cooler, neutral lip colors for me because I do tend to get a little bit of a warm tone in there sometimes. Like this is on the warm side, but that's a lovely formula. I love the shade. I just need to figure out the best way to use that. And then the foundation, let's talk about this, the Bois de Chanel. Now this was really quite lovely. It has a nice skin-like appearance to it. It is one of those products that I'm wondering if I don't actually need to powder. Yeah, really lovely skin enhancing kind of finish. It's a really nice one. I feel like I got the wrong shade though. Let me know if you've tried this, if you have it, what you think of it. I'm gonna watch for wear today. As for the powder, yes, I can't get much information here regarding how recent this powder is. And I'm holding this up because it's the refill case. I very much enjoyed this powder in B20. I think it was the right choice for me for what I want. I want to brighten and warm up my skin tone a little bit with powders, and it did not bring about any dark spots underneath, which is one of the things I look for when it comes to powder. Is it going to bring about those dark spots that I did a nice job of concealing? And it did a really nice job. So I'm going to also watch this over time. You can see it has a lovely finish to it as well. So I think those two together worked really nicely. As I said, I now have all of the foundations, at least the ones that are available. There was one I couldn't get a hold of, which makes me think they're not carrying that anymore. I also had only like 3 shades left, so that was something I wouldn't be able to really try out because it wasn't my shade. But I think I have everything now, so I'm going to be compiling a nice summary of all of these products for you. Finishes, length of wear. Do let me know those really critical elements of a foundation that are important to you that will help either persuade or dissuade you from picking one up. Is it the shade? I mean, for me, it's shade. I know that. For me, it's also the finish. It's the wear of it. It's skin type. But do let me know what those things are so I can make sure to include those in that video. But that's it for today's video. So please take care of each other. Stay well if you enjoyed this video. If you learned something, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you next time.